Receivers. I love receivers. Got some good ones. We're doing our top 20 rankings. First of all, I need to find out from Patterson and Dunny who you guys took last night. And it's a pretty good question. It's a better question than the Eckler fans are going to give it credit for from my perspective, because my buddies had a team, and I know they had the third pick in the draft last night in their league, and one of the guys was dead set on Saquon Barkley. The other friend was set on Eckler, and they called me from where I was in the casino, and I was with a bunch of guys, and I took a tally, and the guys that I happened to be with like Barkley, but I know a lot of people are dead set on Eckler from last year. Here's the perspective. If you just go from last year, of course the edge is Eckler. But how many seasons ever? How'd that guy Johnson do for the Cardinals when he was the number one pick in the draft the following year? He didn't even play. It happens all the time. I don't see Eckler getting all those checkdowns. He's not going to get 107 accidental checkdowns this season, or that the fish face will be on a first class trip to being fired. So enough of them right now. But Dunny, Ryan, let me know if you took Eckler or Barkley. I think you should have took Saquon, but I'm probably biased. All right, receivers. We know the Mount Rushmore. We're going to go through the Mount Rushmore right now in your drafts. If you're drafting wide receivers, the best receiver in the league is Justin Jefferson, 27 points a game. He was the leader last year in the whole NFL. And the second best receiver right behind him, honestly, I would go with Cooper Kupp, but it's between Kupp and Hill. Cooper Kupp, 1,947 yards 2 years ago, Super Bowl MVP. No, Odell Beckham was not the best player on the field that day. It was Cooper Kupp. It was Cooper Kupp that whole season. That whole Beckham shit is very corny to me because it's insulting to Cooper Kupp. Maybe 6 years ago, Beckham was better, but not now. And if DeAndre Hopkins had gone to Baltimore and not Tennessee, I would have him a little high on my list. I'm a little bit afraid of Hopkins with that situation over there. You never see A.J. Brown. See, I catch myself mid-thought. We'll see about that. So anyway, Jefferson, number one. Cooper Kupp, number two, 1947. We're getting the automatics will go quick. Tyreek Hill, my number three, 170 targets last year. 170 targets. And you're going to talk to me about Jamar Chase over Tyreek Hill, 170 targets. Tyreek Hill, number three, the cheetah, 119 catches, 1,400 yards, 7 tutties. Jamar Chase, there could be a ball right in his breadbasket, and he'll be like this. I know these types of guys. Hear me out. I know when Jamar Chase was young, he must have dropped 1,000,000 balls, because the only reason you always do this, like weirdly, is when somebody say, catch it with your hands, Jamar, because he drops them. That's not the natural way to catch balls. Then I looked him up because I don't like that personally, and he led the league in drops last year. Nobody talks about that. His yards per catch went from 18 to 12. I like Jamar Chase. I'm not saying he's not good, but I cannot put him ahead of Jefferson, Kupp, or Hill. 4, Jamar Chase, 87 catches, 1046, 1202. Very pedestrian. Why is everybody so high? I know the year before, I know Joe Burrow, but what Joe Burrow? Like, Joe Burrow is a clutch player. That doesn't make the Bengals the most explosive team since Moss and Brady, like with the 07 Patriots. Joe Burrow's a winner. That doesn't equate to like Jamar catching 120. I disagree with that whole premise. I'm on St. Brown, number 5. I love St. Brown. He's very steady. He's the only guy with the yards per catch as low as Jamar Chase out of all the good receivers. That's the one thing that worried me, but he's a slot guy, and he caught 107 balls last year for almost 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns. I would sign up for that right now. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I like him anyway, eyeballs as a football player, so I got him 5, but that's just me. Number 6, Devontae Adams. I looked him up. He's 29 years old. He's not done yet. Last year, 100 catches for 1,500 yards. That's super. We only got to worry about the quarterbacks. If Jimmy Garoppolo can't be upright, You got to worry about Adrian O'Connell and Hoyer. So that you got to be careful. 7, Garrett Wilson, Jets. Aaron Rodgers, tremendous. Garrett Wilson, Rookie of the Year last year. Now he's got Rodgers. High, Garrett Wilson. Very high. 8, A.J. Brown. The guy had 17 yards per catch. That's way higher than everyone else not named Waddle. A.J. Brown, beast. Got Devontae Smith on the other side. Philly powerhouse, you already know. 9, right behind him, Waddle. Same amount of catches as yards per catch as A.J. Brown. High volume with the yards per catch. 18 yards per catch. Worried about Tua. Anybody that gets hit on the back of his heels and clicks him like Dorothy and falls backwards on their head, I don't want to fucking hear jujitsu. I'm not buying that shit. So, but Tyreek Hill didn't struggle last year when Tua was out. Waddle, they complement each other, and I do like their offense. So I like Waddle still. Number 10, Diggs. Fell all the way down for me because I don't like crybabies and shit like that. I saw him whining, throwing his teammates under the bus going off the field. He had 108 catches, 1,429 yards. Great player, but I don't know. I got a sour taste for Buffalo. I apologize, Richie. I didn't like that stuff at the end of the year last year. Hey, if Diggs is there on the snake, you could take Stephon Diggs, but I wouldn't reach this year. I don't know. He's hitting 32. Devontae Adams is older than 29, but they're worried about him. They're questioning these other 29-year-olds. But Diggs is just a fresh puppy. I don't know. But I was wrong last year with Kelsey. I was whispering to people like, hey, watch out for Kelsey this year. He's going to fall off a cliff soon. He didn't. And I like him now this year. So sometimes it doesn't make sense. T. Higgins, number 11. Opposite of Jamar Chase, Cincinnati Bengals. 74 catches, 1029. I just love me some T. Higgins. T. Higgins is a big playmaker. He didn't get the volume all the time, but as a football player, I like him. I don't think T. Higgins deserves to be this high now that I'm looking at the list again. He probably should be around 18, 20, but I like me some T. Higgins. I got the authentic jersey, all that shit. I got Mahomes and Higgins. That's how much I like T. Higgins as a player. 12, Calvin Ridley. Here's all you got to know about Ridley. Trevor Lawrence, Ridley's there. Ridley was an elite deep vertical threat, elite speed guy. With Trevor and on Jacksonville, I see him going. Calvin Ridley, number 12. I would reach for Ridley. Number 13, Deebo Samuel, 49ers. I know his production went down, but I look at Christian McCaffrey coming there. That's what I worry about. I don't think Deebo Samuels has regressed as a football player. I love him. I like him a lot. I see them getting creative, getting him the ball, the quick rocket screens. He's going to get 3 of those quick 4-yard air passes quick, and then he could be a running back out split. So that's why I'll always like Deebo. Number 14, one of my favorite receivers in this whole draft, Devontae Smith. I think that kid is top notch. His route running, the way he catches, he's a classy receiver. If you can get Devontae Smith, go get him. Like in a real draft, I would take him over. I would take him over Diggs and Higgins right now. Deebo. I would take Devontae Smith pretty high. I like St. Brown. The all Nooch, St. Brown, Ridley, Devontae Smith. Couple guys. I'm going to keep it zipped. All right. Number 15, Amari Cooper. I didn't like Amari Cooper too much coming in on Dallas the first couple years. Last year went to Cleveland, making plays, made a lot of good plays. I can't even see the screen right now from AC last night, but it's all right. We'll get through this. Amari Cooper, very nice season last year. Deshaun Watson, second year now, coming back, should be a little sharper, getting everything. So I like Cooper at 15. 78 for 1160 last year, 9 tutties. 78 could be a little higher, but 1160, he's got yards. He gets yards. So he's not he's the opposite of St. Brown. He's not a catch guy, little in the slot. He'll get you yards. At 16, I got DeAndre Hopkins, just because his name is DeAndre Hopkins. He hasn't done much. 60 catches last year, 40 catches the year before. Injury, suspension. I think he was on his arms. He got caught. I don't know what's going on with DeAndre Hopkins, but the last time I saw him, he still looked like that elastic, super, best hands I've ever seen in my life. If he's never had a surgery, So let's think that way. He's never been under a knife. I don't want to hear a guy had a sprained knee like Lamar Jackson. Don't be worried. He didn't go under a knife. If you went under a knife like Odell Beckham, that's why you don't hear his name. No. I think Hopkins, you worry about Tennessee Titans. It's a different team, a different system. That's why don't go looking for DeAndre Hopkins this year because it's super unknown. And like live start sits and stuff, that's different. But to draft, I wouldn't go in search of him this year because it's so uncertain. At number 17 and 18, Lockett and Metcalf. Seattle, Geno, resurgence. Everybody thought Russ was going to cook when he went to Denver last year. Geno Smith, I think he went to the Pro Bowl. Lockett, terrific receiver, and Metcalf is the biggest, fastest receiver. He's like 6'3", 230. He looks like a bodybuilder. In his spare time, he runs 100-meter sprints against Olympians. DK Metcalf he just keeps tearing shit up, kind of, and slips. 2 years ago, he played well. He was down in the ADPs, 20-something. Had a good season last year when I looked. Down in the ADPs again. So you're going to be able to, you'll be in your second, third round, and you'll see DK. DK Metcalf is like, he could be like as high as you want him. Like, I wouldn't be upset taking DK Metcalf. That's a beautiful, comfortable pick for me. 19, Terry McLaurin. I put him on the list because I don't like guys with like weird teams or like shitty quarterbacks. I looked at Howell a lot. I really like Howell. I think Washington is going to beat Dallas once or twice this year. I think Washington is better than people think, and I don't think McLaurin should be off the table. You got to worry about turf toe. He's got a little turf toe right now, and I worry about that. I won't get into Julio Jones all those years. If McLaurin's toe checks out, he's a great receiver from Ohio State. Ohio State produces all the best receivers in the country. Just check it out. Research that. Terry McLaurin's a nice receiver. He's the man on Washington. If he's healthy, he's a top 20 receiver. And then my 20th is the only rookie on the board. Who's going to catch all those Herbert yards? 5,000 Herbert Charger yards. Mike Williams stinks. Keenan Allen, he's going on the way to Stinkville. Quentin Johnson, rookie, beast. Mike Williams size, but he's better. He's better. Quentin Johnson, I'm not going to say too much. Herbert, 5,000 yards. Quentin Johnson, go get him. Nooch, neighborhood picks. Those are my top 20 receivers. Like, subscribe, and make sure you don't miss the live stream Sunday morning, 11-ish to 1 kickoffs. We go over the betting board, the game flow for what we want to bet that day, all the spreads, everything. Then we do the fantasy start sits, and I interact with everybody. And the boys come in, we have a good time. CBJ, Richie, Oscar, all my boys, T. Rich, Ryan, everybody. So I can't wait for the season. That's why we do this. I'll see you later. Those are my top 20 wide receivers. Boys, T. Rich and them. I'll see you Wednesday. Saquon, Raquavius.